Good morning and welcome back to Ferreedom Camping. So today we're going to do a review and a video on the 2016 Ford Explorer and specifically on the towing of the Explorer. There's not a whole lot of videos on YouTube or online about the Explorer and its towing capacity. So this is definitely a video we wanted to do. We are going to be towing our 2021 Coachman Apex Outfitter today. It's about 4,600 pounds as it sits. The Explorer here with the 3.5 liter Ecoboost engine from Ford, of course. Does have a 5,000 pound towing capacity. So we're going to see what it does today. We're doing about a 160 mile trip, about 3-4 hours. So we'll give you some info on the trip as we go. Of course, as it sits right now, it's sitting pretty good. A little bit of sag in the rear, but nothing too severe. So we'll see how it does. We are going to be running the Prodigy brake controller today with the camper. So we'll see how it goes. So we'll be back shortly with more, and stay tuned. Okay, so now we're inside of the 2016 Ford Explorer Sport. I guess one thing I didn't talk about on the outside, this is a sport model, so it does have the 3.5 Ecoboost engine. The suspension on the Sport is different than the rest of the Explorers. The Platinum, the Limited, all have different suspension. The Sport is configured so it is stiffer than the other Explorers, so thus giving you a little bit different towing experience. Certainly on our trip here, we are going to be monitoring our fuel mileage and seeing what we're doing. Obviously, this is a heavier trailer, and we are close to the towing capacity on this vehicle. But with the 3.5 EcoBoost motor, certainly has plenty of power. Really, I think our struggle here is just going to be the suspension and the actual weight of the Explorer versus the weight of the camper. So certainly we're going to keep you updated throughout the trip here, get some figures on what we're going to be looking at towing, and yeah, we'll see what the Explorer can do. Okay, so we're just taking a quick break here. A couple things I want to talk about on the Explorer as well. So this Explorer is equipped with the factory Ford towing package. So of course with the Class 3 hitch and the 7-pin connector for your trailer. Factory, this also does have the tow haul mode, which is located down here lower. It's just a button you push. It is for towing and hauling. Helps change the gear ratios with the transmission as well. This also does have factory sway control from Ford. A lot of the trucks do have it as well. This Explorer with the tow package also does have the sway control. So far, it actually does work very, very nice. We have been on the highway. Lots of tractor trailer trucks around, so being that this camper that we're towing is about 26 feet long, plus the tongue, it's about 29 feet. Decent distance behind there, and it's basically like you're pulling a big box down the road. So, so far with the factory sway control, very, very good, and the tow package does make it nice. Now, one thing I also want to talk about is the Prodigy brake controller. Of course, there's lots of brake controllers on the market. We do run the Prodigy on this vehicle. I do like the Prodigy. It's very, very user-friendly. This one is something that, is very highly touted, that it's a very good brake controller. With this and Prodigy, what they do recommend, it does have brake boost. It has brake boost level 1, 2, and 3. With a travel trailer or camper or even weight that you're pulling that is close or equal to the weight of your vehicle, Prodigy does recommend that you run it on brake boost 2. So we are running this on brake boost 2. You can change the strength of the brakes for the trailer manually. Right here, there's a little knob. You can just roll it, so you can make it more aggressive if you'd like, or less aggressive. But we do run it on brake boost 2. On brake boost 2 with this vehicle, it does stop very seamlessly and very uniform with the Explorer. So when I am applying the brakes, the camper back there is stopping about the same. I don't feel like one's pulling or pushing the other, so that is good. So, so far so good. We're only about 20 minutes, half an hour into our trip. I think we got about 3-4 hours to go here, and certainly we're gonna keep monitoring the situations as we go, but so far so good. Okay, so we're almost the way through our trip here, probably about 2/3 or better on the trip. So far so good. Of course, the trip so far, we've had a lot of different driving conditions. We've definitely had stop and go through traffic lights. We've had divided highways, with your 45, 50 mile an hour speed limit, and we've been on the highway. We did do a lot of back roads as well, so we've had the whole gambit of driving conditions here. The fuel mileage, I think, is just about kind of what I expected. Given that the Explorer Sport, we don't get great gas mileage in this anyway. We generally average 16.8, 16.9 in general without pulling any kind of weight. Right now we are only getting 11.4. I was hoping for somewhere in the 12s, but maybe given the different driving conditions here and what we've been experiencing, probably a little less than we could get. If we were maybe on the flat more, doing the highway speed about 55, 60, we might be able to squeak it out close to 12 miles a gallon. Everything's been good. We've experienced no sway so far, so either the sway control or just the length of the travel trailer in general isn't giving us any issues there. Certainly, I think one upgrade that I'd be interested to see what would do is maybe some air assist in the rear. The front is not floaty, the steering is good, and braking is fine. However, I think if just the geometry of the maybe rear air assist for us might give us just a slightly better experience as far as driving. But so far, I'm pretty impressed. It's doing well. Again, no issues. And again, I think fuel mileage is pretty much what we're expecting. So we've got another 40 miles or so until we get to our destination, and then we'll see what the average fuel mileage was and kind of what our trip was, at least getting here. So we will update you here when we get there. So the first thing you're probably going to notice is that I'm wearing a different outfit than I was earlier. There was an issue with the campsite yesterday where we were originally supposed to go to, so that actually did help us be about 4 or 5 hours later than we wanted to. So we were going to do a setup video yesterday, but we're going to do that actually later in the week now. But finishing up with the trip here and the towing on the Explorer, overall it did do pretty well. There's a couple things on the highway that I did notice. When we got close to our destination, the final stretch of the trip was highway, and we were doing about 70 miles an hour. At 70, it does get a little bit of sway, does get a little bit of loose steering on you. So definitely keeping it at 65 or under is, I think, the trick for the Explorer here. I really wouldn't want to push it much past 70. On the flats, it's definitely fine. Actually, in towing going uphill with the trip, it was fine as well. I don't think we had any major issues. I would say overall, though, if I did live out west or in the Rocky Mountains or a very, very mountainous area with long runs, the power of the Explorer is fine. I would just say we are going on a trip in about 2 weeks, and we're going to shoot that as well and see what that trip's going to be like. We are going into the mountains in northern New York, so we'll see what those bigger mountains bring. But on this trip, wasn't an issue at all. Again, I think staying under 65 and under is totally fine. Now, coming in, looking at the fuel mileage, you will see it does say 10.2 miles per gallon as an average. Now, however, I will say that is a little deceiving because when we did go to our first campsite that we got to, we did have to sit there. I let it idle for a while we were setting up the trailer. And then certainly we did stop at a few gas stations where I let it run while we're doing a couple things. So realistically, that's a sort of a false reading. I did check it though before we did all that. When we rolled into the first campsite, we were actually 11.4. So again, I think that's probably about what I was expecting. I was hoping for 12 out of the Explorer. We did get 11.4. Again, I think in 2 weeks here, we'll see what the mountains bring, see if that brings that down. But that's what we have. So thanks for watching the video, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with lots more videos. We've got a whole bunch of stuff planned for you guys, so stay tuned.